Skills are one of the most important things you need to learn if you are using Claude Code. And hey, this is one of the things that is making the buzz right now. And after using skill for a couple of times, I am so blown away that I couldn't hold it. And I said, no, I still need to do a second episode talking about how we can actually make proper use of skill in Claude Code. Now, I've already done a detailed video explaining what skills are for non-technical person. So it doesn't matter the level you are. The way I broke down what skills are in this video that I'm going to be linking up here, it took you from complete beginner to someone who understands clearly what skills are. So if you haven't watched that video, first of all, watch that video to understand what we are talking about here. Because in today's video, I want to focus on how can we create a skill. Now, when we create that skill, then we are going to also go ahead to test how powerful that skill can be. So without wasting time, I want to say welcome to today's solo episode of the Founder's Diary. And my name is Emmanuel Umor. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'm also the host of this show. And please, if you haven't subscribed, take this time to jump in there, hit that subscribe button or hit the bell icon so that you are the first to hear when we shoot our next video. And that really means a lot to us. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's jump into the show. We are going to be starting here on my screen, which is Claude Code. Now, this interface, you are not going to see it if you are accessing Claude on the browser. So you have to go to Google and type Claude Code desktop. It's going to give you the process of how to actually download Claude Code into your desktop. And the moment you do that and you're on a paid plan, you're going to be having this interface where you have Claude for Code and we have Claude for Cowork, and we also have Claude for Chat. Now, the chat interface is the normal interface you will have on the web version of Claude Code. While this Cowork is one of the features that you can actually access only on this desktop interface. All right, good. So this Claude Code is, you can use it when you want to build apps or websites. Basically, you can walk through this. That's why you can see this jumping guy showing you that he's ready to code for you. So yeah, that's just what that is right there. But what we want to do, we can work on it under Cowork. All right, for the Cowork is more like having a partner, a colleague work with you, or you have an intern that you are training to do your work for you, and that's very cool. That's very cool. By the way, this is a new feature. I'm going to be doing a video shortly about the dispatch feature that just came up on Claude very soon. Okay, so that's it. Let's jump into skill. The simple thing about skill is just understanding that skill is simply an SOP. Yeah, I want you to take that. Skill is simply an SOP. How do you do a particular task? And you are telling Claude, every time I ask you to do this task, this is how I want you to do it. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be building a newsletter skill. I want to build a skill on how to write newsletter and also how to make sure that newsletter is delivered in a certain format, in a certain way. That's what we are going to be doing here, you and I today, straightforward in this life. And let's see how far we can go with that, all right? The first thing you want to do is to come under customization. When you come to customization, you're going to see the skill here and you're going to see connector. The first thing you want to do, I would like you to go to connector and find all the necessary connection you need to give to Claude to have access to. Now, for the connector are simply tools that allow Claude to do work way better and faster for you. Let's say if you want Claude to be able to send emails on your behalf or write your email draft or read your emails for you, you have to go and connect the Gmail connector. I hope that makes sense. If you want it to be able to design flyers for you on Canva, you have to connect the Canva connector. The same thing goes with Figma and every other possible tools you have here. All right. You can as well search for other tools or connector that you don't have, but that is just it. You have to do that first. Now, the next thing I want you to do is go under the skill, click the skill button, and it's going to come up. If you don't have any skill on your account right now, you're not going to see any of this. Take note of that. None of this will be there. You're just going to have it blank, but these are all different skills that I've uploaded to Claude Code that he has access to. But today we are assuming you don't have any skill, or you have some skills and there are some you really need, you don't have it. And today we are going to be building it. So you go to the plus icon, click that, Then you see create with Claude. Then we click that to open it. It's going to bring us down to co-work. You see the prompt that came up is, let's create a skill together using your skill creator skill. First, ask me what the skill should do. Now, for the skill creator skill, is right there because Claude originally have a skill creator as a skill embedded into your plan already. I'll be using my voice to text speech to command this. So I want to build a newsletter skill, and this skill should be able to do research to find the best performing AI news every single week. And after doing that research, getting the news, it should be able to script the news and follow my exact tone and voice. Make sure it asks me all the necessary questions it needs if it doesn't have the context. If it does already, it should use my context and my tone and my style to now write this newsletter. I want it to write a newsletter following my brand guide. At the end of the day, it should make sure this newsletter is thoroughly formatted, properly done, ready to be posted and emailed to so many subscribers that I have. And also, I would like to be sharing this newsletter on my LinkedIn newsletter account. So take that into consideration when you are doing the formatting so that we get the best option or the best format that we can have there. I want it to be designed a certain way, and that design should be structured enough to go through every single template that we are going to be producing after that. All right, so do the research, come up with it, and at the end of the day, when you do it, I want every time it creates this newsletter, it should be designed in a way that it can be sent to me via email. So we've hit that. Now you see everything I was just saying, blah, 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 blah. Everything is captured there. I'm going to hit that to go. And it's going to come back to give us certain observations, asking questions, possibly things like that, just to make sure it refines the skill to meet the exact specification. Now, the last part I actually gave it wasn't actually necessary. It's going to work in the next version after we have created the skill to test how this newsletter actually works. Now, this is for someone who doesn't want to do anything with the Claude Code, doesn't want to code, but you want to create a particular agent that goes ahead to create newsletter for your brand, your skill, every single day or week. We are going to do all of that at the end of the day. So let's see what it's doing. So it's great. I love this idea you've given me. You've given me a solid picture of what you want, a weekly newsletter code, and who is your target audience. Now, so now it's giving us this question. It wants us to now give him details. What will the newsletter be called? Now, tell me which of this is best in the comments. So I will rename it. I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to say Startup Founders, okay? I'm going to go with Startup Founders. How would you describe your writing tone and style? Conversational and witty? Yeah, I will go with that. But this is solely depending on what you want, right? So you're going to do that. How many news stories or selections or sections should each newsletter typically cover? I'll go with 3 to 5. That's enough. Do you really have brand guidelines documents somewhere, example in Notion, Google Drive, or local? Or should the skill ask you about voice style each time? Yes, I have guidelines. That's because I'm going to basically upload my brand guide to it. So let's say it has taken those 3 questions and it's going to work on it. Basically giving me an opportunity to give it that file that I said I have so that I can embed that into the whole thing. Okay, it's asking me most questions. Where are your brand guides stored? I can check Notion, Google Drive, or you can share it file. Good. So I have it on my laptop, and I can as well just say I will describe it, or Google Drive. You can upload it and just send that out. I'll say something else, and I will say it's a laptop. I will just have to share a file with you, and that will make it to go ahead and give me an opportunity to do that. The next question says, what's your newsletter name, and do you have an existing newsletter, or is it a brand new newsletter? I want to start a brand new newsletter here, so I'm going to go with brand new. After the newsletter is written, how should it be delivered to you? Email draft via email, yes. What email platform do you use for your subscribers list? So the skills format HTML compatible to that. Yeah, for now we are going to assume you're going to be going with Beehive. Yeah, we're assuming we're going to go with Beehive for that. And it's going to go ahead, do the research. What would you like to name your newsletter? I will decide on that later. Let's decide on that later, okay? But drop the name in the comments. I'll be reading them. Can you share your brand guidelines files now? Yes, I will be uploading it right now. So let me upload that. I'll go to my file. which will allow me access my desktop account. I'm going to go down to my desktop and I'll go to my businesses. Then I want to use a brand guide for, let's say, let's go with Crystallic Cleaning. Let me use the brand guide for my cleaning company. Is that a good idea? Not so sure about that. Let's see. Let's retrieve. Let's go back. Let's try something else. Should I use business building document? No, that's not what that is. So let's go back again. Let me look for Chimney Studio or my... Oh, that's true. We can as well just give it... Yeah, let's come to SOP, Chimney Studio operation onboarding things. Yeah, this should be... That document carries everything about my agency. So I'm going to use my agency branding to be the same thing. So I have attached that. Let's allow it to go on and work while it cook whatever is going to be cooking for us. So this is just the process you follow. You keep answering all the necessary questions as it goes through. And then let's see what it comes up with. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, it's working on it. That's good. Now it's building the skill. It says, great, you've uploaded your brand guidelines. Let me read through it and start building your skill. Awesome. Now it says, I've thoroughly read your Chimney Studio brand guide. I now have a complete picture of Emmanuel's voice, confident, but not arrogant, clear without jargon, privacy conscious, action oriented. Let me now build the skills. We're off to the races. Another thing I want to observe here is you can see how it clearly set out a to-do list for itself of things it's going to do just to build the entire skill. And that's how it's going to go through it. Drafting the AI newsletter skill, create supporting reference files and templates, write test prompts and run test cases, create evaluations, suggestions and run evaluation days. All of this, it's just going to go ahead and keep doing that. Now it's creating the skill.md file. Now let me talk to you real quick about the MD file. Anything that goes into the .md file is more like the markdown file. It's stored for a long time. It's one of those files that captures the particular information and keep it for a long time for reference purposes. So every time an agent is trying to look for something it doesn't have, it goes into the .md file to figure out if that thing was already been there or been put into it. If it is there, it's going to use that to proceed. So it's very important. Sometimes it's good when you advance or improve on something, you tell the agent to add it to your .md file so that it's kind of captured over a long period of time. So after cooking for some minutes, about 10 minutes, it's out with something. Yeah, it says all 3 test cases produce complete output. Here's what you can review. You can see also the to-do list, how much it has crossed out, left with just this one. So view the review dashboard. So this shows all 3 test cases. So let's check the dashboard to see what happened there. So when you click that, it's going to bring out the new page. Okay, so this is what it did with the skill. This is a sample prompt it gave itself to generate a newsletter that we can look at. It said, write this week's AI newsletter. I want the top 3 to 5 stories that matter for founders running service businesses. Make it punchy and on brand. Save the HTML, email, and LinkedIn version. All right. So you kind of gave us all this long black code, which I believe it should be giving us in Markdown file. And we need to figure out what that is. So this is another prompt it gave itself. Then it come down to this newsletter generator complete. Stories included were this. We just have to tell it on the format we need it to be in. Should be in the proper Markdown file. So I'm going to download this real quick. No, that's the summary. We don't need a summary. So that is just the step you go through with. All right. So, okay, what you think, what resonates with your voice. And okay, now I'm going to give it another query. I'm like, okay. Yes, I see what you've done so far, but also I want to make sure that we have the final result in the properly formatted Markdown file so that it is very neat. All right. I want it to be properly done. Apart from that, everything looks cool. Let's go. So we're going to hit that and let it cook for a bit again. Take this out of the space so we can go back to our interface. And I would like to collapse this. Yeah. So we kind of have this going on now. So let's watch it cook. So after a little bit back and forth and the training that it was going through, it has finally compiled everything. That says, let me package the skill. It did it around here. Everything's done. Here's what you've got. So we now have your AI newsletter skill packaged and ready to install, download. So all we need to do now is to download this skill. So it has packaged everything into a .md skill file that we can actually have here. So what we have to do is to click that to open it up here, and we have the skill.md file here, right? So if you do this, you can decide to copy this and go and paste it manually, but all you can do now is just to copy to your skill. Now, if you click copy to your skill, remember, when you go to your customization, this skill is not there. Let me show you first before we get into that. When you go in here, under your skill, you're going to notice that we don't have any newsletter skill. Good. So we'll go back now and get ourselves back to that spot. So this is where we were. So when we click that again, and we come back here, copy to skill, automatically just copy to your skill to the skill file. So it's now one of the skills. Now, how do you now use this? Instead of every day you come to work on it in a different file, this is the best way I'm going to show you to do it. Just cancel all of these, go over to project. All right, you see the project file? That is where I want you to go. Go to project, create a new project from scratch. Now we are going to name that project Chimney Newsletter. So we have that. Now you can as well go ahead to give this project any instruction, but it doesn't matter. But I'm going to give you some instruction. You are a newsletter agent. Your job is to scrape the internet using all the required skills available at your disposal to build a detailed newsletter or current AI news that is available online. Make sure this is properly formatted into a markdown file and eventually send me a copy via email so that I can eventually post it on Beehive and also post it on my LinkedIn newsletter. So I'm going to be attaching a file here for you to work with. Feel free to make use of it. And yeah, that's it. Be a good boy. So that is it. We will give that, but you definitely know you need to take your time to give this instruction properly. If there are specific things you need, this is just me playing around. Then you have the file is going to be working in. Okay. You can now decide to say, okay, which file do you want it to be working from? You can pick a file or a folder you want it to be working from. And I would like to use this. And I'm going to give it this LinkedIn file to have as the file is going to be using. All right. So then I'm going to click that create button and wait for it to cook. Now, what is happening now is that every single time you want to do anything about this newsletter, you can just go to your folder, to this folder, the Chimney newsletter. So it's not going to just be on just this recent thing. So everything you do, you can easily just find it under the folder. All the newsletter written will be under the folder. Everything will stay organized. That's what I would advise you do. So let's test that skill now to see what it's going to do. So I want you to go out and do a research for the last week AI news. Find the best news you can get out there and write me a detailed newsletter that will be extremely helpful for founders that are currently building and how they can make use of these AI tools. Make your best use. Go in, use all the available skills that will help you perform absolutely well. Eventually, I want to have this sent to my email and everything should be done very professionally. So that is it. We send it out. It's going to now go ahead and start doing the job to come up with the result that we're looking for. So let's wait. So here you can see it says, let me activate the AI newsletter skill. That's the beauty of skill. So as long as you have that skill, the agent will always use the instruction under that skill. You can see under the context, it got in touch with the newsletter skill. All right. You can also see it has to go online to search. That's why it has a web search, which is why I told you initially that you need a good connector to be in place. So it touches the web search connector and it went down to now get the instruction for the Claude.md file concerning Chimney Studio and creating of this newsletter. Put down a detailed work list that is going to be working with. So it's going to research AI news from the past, select the top 4 stories that it finds, 4 to 5 stories. Then it's going to write a newsletter in Emmanuel's brand voice, which is mine. Yours is going to be structured depending on what you want it to be. Then it's going to generate Beehive compatible HTML emails for us. Then also it's going to move into generating LinkedIn newsletter version that we can actually post on LinkedIn, create a research notes document for us in case we want to use that, then send a Gmail draft for us to see. So let's wait for it to finish cooking. So after cooking for a couple of minutes, we are all set. It came out with a result. It says, okay, everything is done. Emmanuel, here's what I delivered. This week's theme is the agent economy goes live. So it covers visas, AI agent payment, blah, blah. And this is what it did. 3 files in your folder, the Beehive HTML emails, the LinkedIn newsletter, and also the research notes. It also has drafted an email in my Gmail. So we are going to go find that out to see if it actually worked. So yeah, I'm just going to switch back to my Chrome browser. Oh, my Chrome browser is not even open. So we're going to launch that up. Let's launch that up real quick and open my Gmail account to see what it has done. I'll just go here. Let's get it done first. So yeah, this is my Gmail account. Let's pick that out and wait for it to load and see if it actually did the job and how the job looks. Let's refresh it. So just gonna refresh it. Then we're gonna go to our draft. Then you're going to see it here. Your agent have wallet now. Now that's the title of it. Let's see the job it did. Beautiful, beautiful. You see, it took its time to design it. I love the way it designs the color, the AI chimney, and the issue number. You have to now go ahead and change this. It did anything you don't want. This week was the week the AI agent economy stopped being a buzzword. Visas AI agent can now make purchases and change everything. Wow. So now, another key thing I will go ahead to instruct you to do with the skill is to ensure that the M dashes are properly handled. Anything AI should be taken out. Yeah, that's one thing we skipped. So here's the move. Like, it did everything so well, added the sources. I love it. So all you have to do now is copy this, just send it as an email across all your accounts or your newsletter in Beehive. Then you can now link yourself here, chimneystudio.com. It even went ahead and added my company website to it, which is cool. And if I want to change, I'll just change that to kind of my calendar if I want people to talk to me or do a particular booking or stuff. Then added my LinkedIn and my website. Everything was done beautifully well. This is just on one go without really taking time to prompt it. And I feel this is a great job. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section what you think. And if you have any case study you want us to try building with Claude, just drop it in the comments so we can go ahead and try that out. But for this, I think you did a great job. Apart from we instructing you to take care of all the M dashes and try to make sure it sounds very cool. I love it. So there you have it. In a few minutes, we came up and we did something amazing with the skill. We created a skill, we tested the skill, and we verified that it's okay. So that is what the skill is about. Now, the bars you are hearing online, that's how powerful it is. Now, the beauty of this is every single time I can set this to go on its own and do it every single week, every 2 days, every 3 hours, and it's going to go ahead and just do that and send it to my email, and I just get to post it. Hours of job taken away. So if you want something like this, there you have it. We have come to the end of this particular episode. If you really appreciate this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with someone who will really find it valuable, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.